Little goal for yourself. Go lateral. Do what you can do, what is achievable to help feed your little ego so that you believe in yourself again after you've had a pitfall, after something has gone wrong in your life. Okay? So it might be on that little journey that something big opens up for you. Okay? So this woman raised her hand, and I went online and I got in touch with Dr. Aziz and Diane, and I said, I'd like to teach at Access Academy. And they said, come. And here I am. All right, a year and a half later, and very happy to be here. And now I've taken another lateral movement. I got married to a Bangladeshi woman who is a widow and has a baby. And now I am to be very still for a while. That's the other question. When do you choose to be still, and when do you choose to move? All right? So at the one time in my life, Buddhist camp or graduate school, I wanted to be still. I wanted to be with somebody, and I wanted to go inside myself. I've been traveling all over the place, hitchhiking, and I wanted to be still. So I went and lived on this Buddhist camp to be still for a while. And we did that for 3 years. It was great training. And now is another time to be still. I was still in Afghanistan for 4 years because there was so much work to be done. And now I am still here. Okay? I will be here for a while. So that's the other problem, is when you've had a difficulty in your life, set a little goal for yourself, and as you're achieving that little goal, you feel better about yourself. And then I might be on that little goal. It could be a fellowship somewhere, a scholarship, or some little thing you do. And then you're there, and you meet somebody, and another big door opens. And a door that could lead you for the next 10 years. You don't know. So the other problem is, when do you move and when do you stay still? This is not easy to figure out. The most important thing is, if you've been moving a lot lately, sometimes it's best to stay still. Sometimes. And if you've been still for a long time, it may be good to hit the road again. All right? And while you are living your lateral life, there are times where you need to decide if you want life experience or you want new skills. Okay? You're creating yourself. You're creating the Renaissance woman. All right? How do you create the Renaissance woman? Well, you go back and forth between life experience and skill building. Right now you're building skills. Okay? And you might later on take a trip to India or Nepal or some other place, and you experience something wonderful there as a scholarship or a project that you get involved with. Okay? I think that more and more this university will be asking you to do things like that, to go out and get life experience, but also build your skills. To get out there. Take what you're learning here out into the world and use it. So you've got to balance between building some skills and life experience. You don't want to just do one and just do the other. You want to mix it up as much as possible, okay? So I learned how to be a counselor because I went to a lot of workshops on emergency counseling, because the police would bring a 13-year-old to my camp and drop them off, and then I had to spend 7 days with that person to try to figure out what is the best course of action to do with that person. And then I taught myself how to run a business. I taught myself how to build a house, how to do stonework. I taught myself how to be a firefighter. I took the training. I taught myself how to be a teacher of writing. And with a lot of help from a lot of other people, okay? So later on, my father passed away this year, last March. And I went back to America, and we had a memorial for my father. Now remember the father who said, well, I like to collect seashells too, but what are you going to do? All right? So my sister, who had been living with my father, went through his things, and she found 5 files for 5 children, okay? The file with my brothers and sisters was just full of receipts and money that they owed him. That's all. My file was this thick, full of newspaper articles, letters, all kinds of information about everything I was doing everywhere I went. So my brothers and sisters were laughing at me, and they were going, oh, he's the prodigal son. He loved you better than us. So ultimately my father realized what I was doing with my life. And I think initially, if you decide to live a lateral life, your family will learn to appreciate the wide variety of experiences you're putting together. It takes them a while. And keep in mind that also I'm white, man, American, very privileged. But all along the way, I ran into women who were living lateral lives. I ran into a woman from Brazil at Evergreen who was living out of a dumpster, and she ended up getting a full scholarship to Evergreen. I ran into a whole group of women in Alaska who organized an all-women fishing fleet. I ran into women in St. Petersburg, Russia, who started their own literary journal. I ran into women in Kabul, Afghanistan, who were driving cabs, who were playing music in a band, who were starting shelters for women. So all along the way, I did run into women who were living lateral lives. Now, it is a dangerous world out there. I think I was almost killed 6 times. And you have to be careful out there. You got to be careful about where you go. But the skills you develop, first of all, you develop skills of figuring out who to trust and who not to trust. These are skills that eventually some employer will realize about you. All right? So when you send your CV, remember that living a lateral life, you're also creating yourself. Okay? You want to show your future employer that you can approach a difficult project, figure it out, and successfully complete that project. Okay? That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for a genius. They're looking for somebody who is a people person, who understands how to talk, how to communicate, and can start a project that they don't know anything about and figure it out and make it successful. And that's what you do in a lateral life. You find yourself in a situation where you don't know anything. I don't know anything. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to build a house. I don't know how to start a business. I don't know anything about Access Academy. But what you end up doing is you rely on the breadth of your experience, and you start with pieces of your experience to try and solve the riddles that you are going to encounter. And welcome all the riddles. Welcome all the mysteries, because these mysteries will teach you more about the world, about yourself, and you will get more skills. Now, if you happen to want to be a doctor, that's wonderful. Go to medical school, become a great doctor, and do it. If you really want to, and you're able to. But I would like to be an advocate for living a lateral life and becoming a Renaissance person and establishing a lot of different goals. I have a song I want to sing, but I have a cold, so it may not go very well. What time is it?
6:15.
Okay. My students will have to learn this song. Anyone have a lozenge? Let's put this up here. Change. Change could happen any day, so says the whippoorwill. Whippoorwill is a bird that has a funny song, and it's a shorebird. And the whippoorwill has a beautiful song, and okay, so this is a Richard Shendel song about change and about the fear of change. Because living a lateral life, it's easy to be afraid of change. You don't know what you're getting into. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what people you're going to meet. But I've discovered most people are kind, generous, friendly, loving, wonderful human beings. Not about the people we read in the news. Okay? Change could happen any day, so says the whippoorwill that hangs around for the seeds I leave out on the windowsill. Be free, you fool, be free, you fool, she sings all afternoon, as if to show me how it's done. She leaves into the blue. Change could happen any day, so say all the gods in prison I have built around my solitary heart. I tell myself that I'm alright, it's not so bad a place. The truth is that I'm scared to death of walking through that gate. Change could happen any day, so say my true love's eyes. They see into my shadows with her sweet forgiving eyes. She smiles and says, come on, let's go, let's stroll the boulevard. It's side of the open blue and became a change. Change is not necessarily a bad thing. You all made a major step in coming to this university, and I can guarantee you there are people who wished you did not come to this university. There are people in your life who said, what? Bangladesh? Do they have a university? What? Bangladesh? That's a poor country. Why are you going to Bangladesh? They'll turn you into an American. Oh, they're going to change you. They're going to make you strange. You're going to lose your love for your country and your family, and you're going to change. But really, ultimately, what happens in living a lateral life is you don't change so much. You just acquire more friends, more skills, more ability to do more things with your life. And eventually, someday, an employer, when you learn how to put your CV together, your employer will go, yippee! Wow, she can do this, she can do that. She started a project in India and she did this, and then she finished her bachelor's, and then she went to graduate school, and then she went to China and she walked the Great Wall of China, and then she went to Japan and she worked on a fishing boat, and then she went to Italy and she made pasta. And so when they see all of that, then they will go, wow, a Renaissance person. We want a Renaissance person in our company. We'll pay you to be part of our team. Okay? So I recommend, if you don't know what you want to be for the rest of your life, like my father, he sacrificed 30 years going to the same company to be a good father and a good husband and raise a family of 5 children. I didn't think I was one of his children for a long time. They told me I was dropped on a doorstep. That I was, the police dropped me on the back porch because there were 4 kids, and then 4 years went by, and then I came. I was the mistake. I was the boo-boo. And so it's okay to make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes in living a lateral life. Like I said, when you make a mistake and when you realize that I should have gone to graduate school instead of going to the Buddhist camp, 2 years would have been done. Would have been done. Would have been good for me to do that. But I went to the Buddhist camp, and that led me to many other things. Okay? Each experience you have, see it as an opportunity, a chance to gain more skills, to become more of a Renaissance person. And realize that it's not bad to try new things. Because ultimately, some future person, like Dr. Aziz, when she saw my resume, she said, ooh, some crazy guy who went to Afghanistan and he built a house and he was a counselor and he started a school in Afghanistan and he taught leadership and he's ooh. All right? So this will happen for you also. Get out there, go on a fellowship, go on a scholarship, get out there and experience new people. Take what you learn here out into the world and apply it. And bring back wonderful gifts from your experience to share with your friends here.
Ian, we're running out of time. Do you want to take any questions?
Okay. Any questions? Yeah.
Sure, you have done lots of amazing things
Any special thing I desire for what?
To do in your future. You have a bucket list.
I don't have a bucket list. I don't want to, there's nothing I need to do. I've got a wife and a baby. Like that. So, even though I have a wife and a baby, I want to be a good husband. I want to raise this boy properly, give him every opportunity, okay? That's one of the reasons she married me, is she wants her boy to have opportunity in his life, okay? And I want to teach you guys. I want to try to get better as a teacher, and this year I've taught you guys differently than last year. My students from last year got a different aim than this year, okay? And I honestly, it's a time for me to be still. I don't need to go hitchhiking around Bangladesh, okay? But to me, joy is in my classroom. That's joy. Joy is all of you, you crazy, wild women, sitting there in class. And in my second class today, we talked the whole time. We debated about world politics, and we didn't read what we were supposed to read. Okay? So that's one important skill you learn in living a lateral life, is you learn when to throw out the plan. Sometimes you have a really, it's always good to have a plan. Always good. Always have a plan. No matter where you go and no matter what you don't know, have a plan. Don't go just like, because then what will happen is criminals will come and take advantage of you. Bad people, okay? They see you, oh, you, right? Predators go after the weakest. So when you live a lateral life, you've got to be confident. You've got to have a plan. So go in with a plan. You may change your plan. That's fine for survival. You may throw your entire plan out. But you've got to have some plan in everything you do. Okay?
I had a plan before for my life when I was younger. I was planning to study English literature and then be a professor after that. But then when I heard about this university, I changed my whole life trajectory to come here without I don't know what's the major that what I'm going to study or anything. I don't have an idea, a specific idea about that. But the one thing I know, it deserves.
Well,
I changed,
yeah, I mean, you will find that you change course from time to time, okay? And that's one thing I learned when I was hitchhiking around America for 10,000 miles, is you throw yourself to fate. Whatever car comes along, and you have to size them up. Sometimes the car would have a wild dog in the back seat, and I go, see you later. Sometimes the driver looks crazy, but you can't always tell. Sometimes you get in the wrong car, and you find yourself in a bad situation. So when you're in a bad situation, you have to quickly come up with a plan of attack. There was one time, this guy went off the road and he started going down a deserted road. And I thought he would kill me. So he was going quickly. I couldn't jump out of the car. So I turned to him and I said, You need to turn this car around now. And lo and behold, he slowed down, he turned the car around, and he went to the gas station. And then I looked under his seat, and I found a handgun. And I took the bullets out of the handgun and put them in my pocket. And I put the handgun back. And then this other hitchhiker came and knocked on my window. Hi, I'm a missionary, and I'm going with you. I said, no, you're not going with me. And if you're smart, you won't get in this car, because this guy has a gun, and he might kill you. And this guy said, I don't believe in violence. I said, but he does. All right? So you don't want to be like the missionary who will get in a car even though he has a gun. You have to have a plan. All right? You always have to have a plan. All right. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much, Ian.